Ah yes, Goldeneye 007 for the Nintendo 64, or as I always called it, Goldeneye 64, probably because Nintendo used to have a hard-on for slapping 64 on a lot of the titles for the system. Did the same with the Super Nintendo as well, everything was super. But anyway, to me, Goldeneye is the shooter that revolutionised the console shooter. This game raised the bar for console shooters back in the day. And I'd actually just say for shooters in general. Now, prior to Goldeneye, shooters weren't too common on consoles. They were primarily found on PC, with a majority of them being Doom clones. But anyway, along came Rare, or Rareware as they were known back in the day, who were arguably the greatest British game developer of all time. They came along and showed everyone how you do a console shooter. And you know what, annoyingly, I often see Halo taking the credit for revolutionising the console shooter. Fuck off, Goldeneye. Goldeneye blew my 8-year-old mind back in the day. I mean, I truly never played anything like it, and to this day, I still consider it one of the all-time greats. So of course the game is based off the 1995 movie of the same name, which marked Pierce Brosnan's debut as 007, and also Goldeneye was the first Bond movie I ever saw. I had the bastard on VHS, loved it, and still one of my favourite Bond films actually. So the game has you playing across 18 missions, most of them locations taken straight from the film, starting off with the Dam, to finally chasing and killing Ned Stark on the epic Cradle mission for England Ash. No for me, you bastard. All the missions were awesome, some of them actually quite open, not just linear, so you could have a little explore, wander around, see what you could find. I always loved that. Some of them were quite atmospheric, like the Surface mission, for example, and Statue Park, which kind of had somewhat of a creepy vibe to them actually. You even get to drive a tank through one mission and run over enemies as you listen to them scream and the sound of their bones getting crushed. I'm glad, mate, I enjoyed that way too much as a kid. So you could approach the missions with either stealth, you know, avoiding surveillance cameras, watching out for alarms being triggered, try and take out enemies silent. But of course you could go guns blazing, which is always fun, you know, shooting every fucker in sight. I used to like just mucking around a lot in some of the missions. Now come on, I can't be the only one who used to shoot the scientists in the facility mission. And also I love putting a bullet in Boris's stupid fucking face. Not so invincible now, are you, nerd? The game featured quite a few weapons as well, which is pretty cool. From the PPK, the shotguns, rocket launcher, various machine guns, proximity mines, grenades, throwing knives, and even the Moonraker laser made an appearance. And something that was really cool as well is you could dual wield some of the weapons, which was just flat out awesome. But hey, let's not forget, best of all, the mighty karate chop. Yeah, bitch. So the game had 3 difficulties, being Agent, Secret Agent, and Double Agent being the hardest. And the harder the difficulty was, the more objectives you'd have to complete in each mission, and also the easier it was to die. In fact, Double Agent could provide quite the challenge, it really could. The graphics were pretty damn good for the time. In fact, I think they were some of the best back then. And you know what? I still think they look alright, even by today's standards. I really do. I love the little details, you know, such as like bullet holes in the walls, which it's something that wasn't really too common back then, and just the way explosions looked amazing. There was just all these cool little details and stuff. As I said, you know, things you didn't really see that much back then. It was really awesome. But to me, what stood out most with the game was just how fun the shooting was, you know, which is a pretty key component of, you know, a shooter. It felt so satisfying, like the noise it made when your bullets hit the enemy and the grunts and groans they used to make, and the animations were absolutely incredible back then. Like the way enemies would react to where they got hit, like they'd hop around, for example, if you shot them in the leg, and they'd go flying from an explosion. They would be on the ground writhing in pain before they died sometimes. I'd never seen animations like that in a game, especially so many different ones as well. It really was just absolutely incredible back then. I still think some of the animations look better than some modern games. It was so much fun. And the music in the game is just the icing on the already amazing cake. So good. Like, the music fit every level perfectly. It really did. It's got to be up there as one of the best soundtracks to a video game ever. It really has to be. It was just amazing. The game also had a couple of bonus missions, those being an Aztec mission and the Egyptian mission. Aztec was clearly inspired by Moonraker, and it actually has Jaws in it. It's like a little mini-boss, I guess. I think the Egyptian level was taken by one scene taken from The Spy Who Loved Me, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But you can actually get the golden gun in this level. Of course, the gun featured in The Man with the golden gun. And Baron Samedi is actually in that as a little boss as well, who was in Live and Let Die. Now, before I wrap this up, I gotta mention the multiplayer. The amazing multiplayer. Oh yeah. Now, yeah, the single player was phenomenal, and I played it over and over and over again. Absolutely fantastic. But oh my god, the multiplayer was something special as well. In fact, one of my all-time favourite experiences with multiplayer. It was the classic 4-player split screen, which to me is proper multiplayer. Like, you know, where you play with your friends in the same room, not stupid online bollocks we get today where everyone's just got headsets playing with random people online. No, you played with your friends. It was a proper social, you know, gaming experience. Oh, it was so good. You could like customize all your little game modes and stuff. Like you could set the time limit, what weapons you're going to be using, health, you know, how many points needed to win, things like that. There was loads of little customization you could do. And there's a bunch of different game modes as well. You got, for example, License to Kill, which was basically a one-hit kill mode. You had the Living Daylights, which was to who could hold the flag for the longest, and a couple of others like that. So yeah, you could play like Deathmatch, which is obviously everyone for themselves, but you could also work in teams as well. And the cool thing is you could choose to play as like a bunch of different characters throughout the Bond films. And yeah, I was always the arsehole that used to race to pick Oddjob, because he was tiny and he was way harder to hit than any of the other characters, which gave you a massive advantage. It was cheating. Picking Oddjob was cheating. I don't think anyone's going to dispute that. And yeah, I mean, all these years later, I still think it's one of the best shooters of all time. And easily the greatest licensed game ever made, without a doubt. I mean, if you had an N64 back in the day and you never played Goldeneye, shame on you. Shame on you. Goldeneye is the pinnacle of Bond games. And sadly, even though we did get some good Bond games that came after Goldeneye, nothing ever really came close to reaching the awesomeness that was Goldeneye. And you know what? Truth be told, I don't think anything ever will.